me see here. Okay, just texting Gabriel that I was live, letting him know what's going on. So, here we have a partly disassembled Epson Home Cinema 2030. This guy right here. Okay. Now, before anybody watches this video and they skip through to see what's going on, and they waste their time trying to find a problem that might not be theirs, what I'm fixing in this is a foggy / kind of blurred image, right? So if you have like a black background with some white text, I'm not talking about convergence where there's some like blue and red or green outlines around your text. That's a totally different issue, and more often than not that cannot be fixed, just because the moment you mess with one of those LCD panels that's in that array right here, you're going to totally screw up your system, and it will be the worst pain of your life to try to even remotely realign them to be usable again. So if it's a convergence error, if your projector is under warranty, send it in. If it's not, then you're going to have to either live with it or replace the light engine if you're smart. If you're pretty good and you can find it, replace the light engine. But more often than not, you can probably go on Craigslist and get an equivalent projector for about the same price as the light engine. But anyway, we're doing the foggy image right now. Now I got this projector, and it has about 1,000 hours or so on it. On the lamp, never had the lamp replaced. Still the original OEM lamp. Filter's been it's all been taken care of pretty well. But if you notice in the fan, all right, this obviously came out of a smoking household. Now, the way you can tell that is because around these vents, you see all this nasty goop and just gross. Hang on, I gotta send the link to this live stream out. I totally forgot to do that. What am I doing with myself today? Let me grab this. All right, open the link, copy. All right, here we go. All right, send the link. Okay, so yeah, what's going on in here is, I wish I could enable a flash or something on here. I wonder if my old iPhone has any juice in it. Maybe I can. No, that's dead. Okay, I'm trying to think of any possible way I can use a flashlight and show you what's going on in here. But anyway, long story short, when you look inside this lens, you're not going to be able to see it. I can barely even see it in person. But you can see a bunch of accumulated, like, misty crap on the, not inside the lens, I don't think. It's probably on the actual pyramid where the LCD panels are. And that's what's causing a foggy image. And so also, while we're in here, we're going to take a little bit of time to clean these fans, because as you can see, that is just freaking disgusting right there. I mean, this one has discoloration. These should not look like this after only 1,000 hours of use, and that's how I know this probably came out of a smoking household, because electronics, especially ones with fans, you get those nicotine stains and you get just that nasty crap inside. And for optical equipment, that's absolutely awful on it, which obviously is the case here. Anyway, lucky for us, it doesn't look like any of our main boards have any issues. So this is a multi-layered board, and in here, so you can see, you might be able to see these two ribbon connectors, like right here and right there. Okay, those are your connectors. Oh, you know what? Here's a flash right here. Okay, there we go. Those three right there are your connectors for your 3 LCD chip. Now I actually might be able to show inside this lens. Maybe. Okay, so you can see in the back there, especially on this side, kind of where the fan comes in, you can see in that back area, ignore all the lens flare, go behind that, you see all that dust and just crap inside that? The light for your image is trying to pass through all of that garbage. And that is what is harming the performance of this projector right there. Like, that is just disgusting. And lucky for us, from what I've just seen, that is behind the lens. Because if you look at the lens at an angle and you can see clear all the way through until you get to that back prism, you are pretty much in business. And you can see all this crap. Now you can actually really see these fans right there, right? And on this, you can really see just all of that. And that right here is just from air. Nothing has ever been spilled into this projector or anything. That's all just nasty air coming into it, which is just disgusting. All right, I already took the liberty of cleaning off these lamp screens because that one was pretty well and done clogged up. That one was pretty clean, but you really don't want to make. You really want to make sure none of these really ever get clogged, because this is your really only source of air getting through that light bulb in there and the lamp. And as you can see, if I maybe look right into there, you can't really see it there, but more or less in there, you can see it's just a giant discharge bulb, and it's way back there at an angle, but you can kind of see down there where that dome is, and that's what creates your light. Anyway, getting off topic. Apparently Epson uses Nidec ultraflow fans. That's kind of nice to know. But as you can see, just this gunk on the fan. Watch if I touch the blade here. Ready? Watch the color of that blade now. That I got this. Look at that stuff. It's on my finger. Look at the color of the blade compared to the other ones, just from touching it. So that's what we're working with right now, and that's disgusting. So because this is a live stream, obviously there's not going to be any magical cuts or anything to when the projector's apart, so feel free to skip along as you need to. Looks like we have a little bit of damage on the projector potentially here. A little kind of tiny crack. Didn't ever notice that before. I have not dropped it or anything since I've got it, but you know, stuff could have happened. So what I'm going to end up doing is fixing this, and if the live stream starts running too long, maybe I'll cut it before I put it back together and do a second stream of putting it back together, because I'm going to also really dig in deep here and get all this out. And maybe if I'm feeling up to it, I probably won't. But, you know, on the 1% chance that I do, I might replace this speaker with something respectable. Even though I would never use the built-in projector sound, on the off chance that I ever need to, I don't want to be listening to it through this piece of crap, because it was advertised as a 2-watt amp in the speaker. I'm seeing a 5-watt stamp on that. Either way, that's awful, especially if it's a 5-watt speaker being powered off of a 2-watt amp. But it's rattly and it's mounted in here all janky, so it rattles really bad when you're listening. Just not good. But anyway, that's second, you know, whatever. The reason I'm doing this, obviously don't do this if you still have a warranty on your projector. I don't. Epson's warranty system messed up, and this thing was supposed to be under warranty for another year, but it ended up not being. But see, look at this. I just pulled that out of the projector, even in the lamp area right here. That, let's see if it'll focus. Probably not. No, it's not focusing. But anyway, that was pretty bad. All right. Well, let's go ahead and start getting this guy apart. I need to figure out how to mount my phone onto something where it'll hold it up and keep it charging. I'm gonna use one of these cables I have. I just lost my Apple TV remote behind this dresser. Oopsie. That's gonna be fun to get. Alright, let me plug my phone into this real quick. Bear with me, guys. It's really fast. Alright. This is why live streams are sometimes the worst thing ever, because it can be such a pain to deal with everything that's going on at the same time. Alright, I'm going to try to somehow mount my phone like this. I might flip it the other direction, actually, so I can see people. Let's do that. Alright, there we go. I'm thinking if I do this, we should be pretty good. That looks pretty good. All right, so we're going to bring our projector over here, and you are going to very, very carefully take off this board on top. This is the first time I've ever taken apart one of these particular models. I've taken apart many Epsons in the past, but it looks like, do we have any interconnects between this board and the other one? Let me see here. Just kind of got to get a feel for it, know exactly what you're going to tear into. Okay, so this board's going to be tricky actually because it has the HDMI connectors on it. Okay. Well, actually, I think, does this back bezel come off a little bit? It looks like it does. Oh, there's the dog barking. Let me grab, I'm going to take this screw off of the back bezel here and see if it'll just pop off. Looks like there's a snap there. Yep. So with that little snap, that let me get just enough clearance to pop this thing off. And then, you know, I just need it off a tiny bit. I'm not going to pull it all the way off and get crazy. But that was that. Is this connected down there? I don't think it is. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my tiny screwdriver, which is this guy. First, I'm going to unplug these connectors. Very gentle. You really don't want to break any of these, because if you do, one loose or broken connector in an Epson projector and it will not turn on. As it the whole system in here is, the technical term for projection systems is marriaged, but this whole system in here is marriaged, and if one thing, like one fan, doesn't register, and it's so computerized to the point where it knows the exact number of RPMs to a decimal on how fast they are spinning. So it doesn't just report back, I'm spinning at 2,500 RPMs. It's spinning at 2,561.88 RPMs. You know, it knows everything. So you really don't want to be messing with anything, all these connectors. You really just kind of be gentle. Don't force them out. Just kind of rock them back and forth. Kind of easy does it there. You know, if you need to, maybe get in there with another screwdriver and just pry the plastic very gently. I'm using a Phillips head, I know, but there we go. There we go, made a little progress. Okay, so there's that. This is our speaker, so it's not as important, but still good to have. And this is our, what is this one? Lamp fan. All right. So we got all of the connectors I can see unplugged from this board. So now all we're going to do is you are going to gently undo these screws here. You don't need to remove these two on the far front of the board, I don't think. So don't remove those ones quite yet. I'm going to use, oh, I guess the lamp door on this one's designed weird. I'm going to use the air filter to put my screws on. Okay. Get those. I will say I have a pretty good respect for how good Epson products are built, because the amount of engineering and placement and stuff inside of these is pretty ridiculous. They build these things about as small as they can get. There's no extra room. Okay, so let's see. Still have a little bit of stuckness on the board, and so I'm not going to force it. I'm going to kind of just look around. Does this come up? Okay, so the shield does come up. So I'm going to gently pop the shield up, and we will look underneath it to see if there's a screw hiding. You want to be careful not to bend this shield, because if you do, it just will not go back on very nicely. Okay, I don't see any. I don't think. No. I don't see any, so we're going to put the shield back on then. So it's the same process, putting it back on, just line it up with those little snaps. Like that. And you should hear little tiny clicks as they snap down. Okay. But you should not remove the shield, as you just saw me do. It didn't do anything. Alright, so still looking around just to see if I can see anything, why this thing is catching. Not seeing anything. Is that bottom, are those RCAs connected to that other board, or this one? This one. Okay. So the reason I'm going so slow and not just trying to instantly rip this board up is because if there is something important on here connected between these two boards, you really don't want to be messing with that. Does it snap here? No, I don't think so. It's not. Okay, so it's just a matter of rocking it. Aha, there was an interconnect in this board. Okay, and I heard something fall, so I'm going to kind of look to see what that was. Maybe something fell. Let's see, and you just kind of gently. There it was again. There we go. Got another thing out of here. So there's another little piece of something broken off in here. Okay, so these are our LCD panels. And that is the tricky part right there. I'm going to look at this and just see if I can see anything that might be broken. Maybe why I was hearing those noises in here. Okay, so it's just a couple like fan connectors and stuff were dried up and broke. So that's not a big deal. Alright. So now the trick is getting this board out. This is a very tricky board because of the fact it is literally connected to everything, including the LCD panels, which are very precious, and obviously you really don't want to be messing with those if you don't have to, but in our case, of course, we do. Alright. Let's see here. I want to try to find where the front of that pyramid is, because if I can just get to the lens now without having to remove everything, that would be ideal. But no, it does not appear like that is going to happen. No. Alright. So we are going to have to remove these connectors. I'm going to look to see if there's anything else under this board that I can see that might need to go. Does not appear, so no. Only the RS-232 and the remote control thing. That's the only two things. Okay, so it's that and the LCDs. So the LCDs, I believe these are just, are these a lift up or a, okay, very stressful doing this. Yes, they're just a lift up and slide out. So you're just going to gently lift up with your nails, or if you have a spudger, that's probably preferred. And you really want to try not to touch the metal contacts on these. So then we'll get our red one up. Also, when you put these back together, sometimes you'll have weird color artifacting and stuff, and then you get to do the liberty of ripping your entire projector apart again, and trying to figure out where it's happening at. So that's always fun. Alright, so I'm going to see if I can remove just this metal piece and not have to do the entire, just the circuit board. It doesn't look promising, but it might happen. So I'm going to pull these little wires out of these clips here. Okay. Where is this connected? Right there. So it's this whole bottom piece. Is it connected to that IEC also? It is. So that's going to be tricky then. If that's the case, is the case. Okay, well then I don't know if that's all coming off like that. Okay, so it's going to be just this circuit board that's coming off, not the, not anything else. All right. So we'll put these boards screws on the right side of the filter. Also, the worst thing you can do is force something to come out. So just be very gentle. Okay, I believe that everything is out. So what we're going to do is we're going to tip. Can I pull these wires out for the speaker? I'm going to actually end up doing that really quick. If I can find where they go. Is that them? That is. So I'm just going to disconnect. I'm just going to get this speaker out of here because it's right in the way and just making my life a whole lot harder than it needs to be. Okay. So now we need to get the RS-232 out of there. I'm probably going to end up using some just nice needle nose pliers to do that. Not the most recommended thing. If you guys have a nicer way of doing it, then do it. I really don't at the moment. Okay, got that out. And now what you're going to do is you're going to kind of do a lift, and you're going to have to also at the same time here, you need to push the ribbons for the LCD panels down under the board so they don't get caught and tear. Right? So you're going to just kind of very gently, mind you, push those things down, get them out under the board, and then, does this piece come off? If this comes off, that'll make my life a lot easier. Because then again, you guys need to keep in mind, this is the first time I've taken this model apart. Okay, I think it does. It really wants to. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so that piece comes off. Will this piece come off? This piece also does come off. Okay, so you guys watched me do that also. Okay, so now this board should just lift up. And we have another shield. Be very careful. These boards you need to be very careful with. I'm going to actually put it on top of that plastic piece. This board I shouldn't have even put down like that. I'm going to put it on top of another plastic piece because you don't want those on the ground. Alright, now we're to the light engine in here. Where are we at? This is pretty good. So we're going to be very careful not to bump anything. Let's see here. Yep, those are all good. Tightened. Okay. So now we have to get the light engine out, which is a big, scary process in itself. So in order to do that, you are going to get your main screws, and I will get those going here. Let me move my camera where you can see it. So the light engine screws are placed. I'm going to also unroute these wires. This is our shutter. Anything that looks like it's connected to the light engine, basically, you're going to move. What's this here? This piece. Okay, I don't think that there's anything under there, although there could be. So I'm going to move this fan here because there might be a screw under it. Nope, that fan's not coming out. Okay, so that fan is probably going to be part of the light engine. So I'm going to move that screw here. We're going to put it over there. And then we're going to go to this screw, and you're just going to go, and the screws that you see that look like they're anchoring it, you're just going to remove. You can do tiny little tugs every now and then as you go, just to kind of maybe feel if it's coming up. It is. So now I'm going to get this screw. There's a lot less screws holding the light engine than you guys would think. Okay, there's going to be one right here. Obviously one on the other side. And that, I think, might be it. Yeah, that's all. So just 4 screws, it looks like. Also, when you're in here, you're going to be very careful not to touch that inverter down there, because that is what strikes your lamp, and the capacitors in there could still have some juice in them and bite. Okay, now being careful not to touch the glass on the lens, now you can just kind of lift up your engine here. Okay, and you have successfully got the light engine out of your projector, and you will be able to see. You really want to be careful now though, because like you don't want any dust or anything getting in there. But now, let me see if I can put this down very carefully. Here's the shutter too. That's kind of cool how that works. Really smart design actually. It's really clever how Epson did that. Wow. Alright, we're going to put this down very carefully. I'm going to grab my phone and I'm going to show you the inside of the light engine flash. Okay. Now I'm even using the flashlight in here to see dust. So there's not a lot that I could see right off the bat there. Is there any on the lens? Kind of blow it out as you go. See if I can see. Yep, so that is the problem on it. The pyramid right there is covered in dust. Absolutely just covered. So that's the problem. Anything before your light chips, you won't really need to mess with. It's everything after them. Okay? So remember that. It's only the things in front of them. You don't need to be messing with anything else. Because everything else will be just fine. Looks like all kinds of garbage or something is inside of this projector. But you're going to just, get it out. And also be careful because there's bolts inside of these that'll come out with it. And you really do still want to be careful not to get any dust or any hair or anything inside of the light engine itself, because you don't want to be taking this more apart than you have to. And honestly, when you're doing this, you really shouldn't even touch the pyramid in there. But here we go. Oh, it all came off with the lens. That's how they did it on these guys. Alright, well, that's tricky then. Not exactly how I wanted that to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and actually put that back in very carefully. Careful not to scratch any of those panels. I want to get just this guy off because I'm just after the lens. You don't want to actually mess with the panels themselves. Okay, so let's see here. Now there's a special way you gotta do these screws, I guess. Of course. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to find a surface I can do this on safely, because I am gonna have to remove the whole assembly with the panels on it. which is going to be very sketchy. You don't want to do this unless you have to, but in this case you do. So I'm going to move the now extremely lightweight projector out of the way. I'm going to put down this shirt, and most of the reason I'm putting down the shirt is just for anti-scratch. Okay, so I take that out, and we're going to put the light engine somewhere over where it's not going to get too messed up or dirty. And you are not going to want to touch these panels, let me tell you right now. You touch one of these panels and it's over. So just be very careful, don't touch them. Not trying to stress anybody out who's doing this, but you know, it's just something you don't want to do. Alright, so what you're going to do, you're going to try, if you can, to keep this thing kind of, you know, where it's not laying on any of the panels. And then you're going to remove the screws around the lens. Let's see, actually, I'm going to try see how much space I have between the lens and the light engine, because I might be able to just get something in between there, which would be the most ideal thing. But, you know. If you can't, that's alright. Yeah, it does not look like that's going to happen. So the main thing that you want to make sure is you just kind of, it's more for the panels than anything, but you don't want to accidentally get the lens out of alignment or something, because then that can cause you to have other issues down the line. Okay, just got one screw out, and I'll just hold the engine here. Wish this thing was not around the lens. I think there's probably a way to remove that, honestly, but I'm not gonna, just because I don't want to do anything extra that I don't have to. It's already a very risky job. Okay. It looks like these do want to fall out, of course. That's alright. And we'll get that last little screw out, and we'll dump that there. Now is the tricky part, because you're going to need to hold the whole assembly in your hand and take that other piece out and not drop this LCD panel alignment here. Okay, so now that should come off, that little thing will slip out, and now you are down to where the actual issue is. The lens itself, yeah, the lens itself looks just fine, but this guy is what's having the issue. So you're gonna just I'm gonna carefully grab my phone and flip the camera again. Alright, let's do that. Flip the camera and enable my flash, and we'll see. Hard to tell without any light. A little bit of garbage on the pyramid. So all I'm gonna do is kind of just blow it off. And then most of the garbage actually, sadly, is behind the pyramid. So I'm not going to be able to actually access that. But you can kind of blow it off as needed. Yeah, it's mostly right there, sadly. So That's the most I'm going to be able to do, is just kind of blow that off. But I guess it was a go. Not going to really be able to clean where I wanted to, but that's okay. This still should have helped a little bit, just being able to blow it off in there. Just kind of get a little more of the dust off. But yeah, you can see right in there though. If I let the camera focus. Yep, all that dust right there. That is what is doing it. So there's nothing I'm going to be able to do. But that's okay. Alright, well, now let's go ahead and put this beast back together. Alright, so, hang on, sorry, there's an interruption there. Here we go. Alright. Well, let's go ahead and put it back together. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to hold it, carefully slip these little guys back in, which is going to be the very big pain right here. Okay, so I got those in. Now I'm going to stick the lens in and hold it. And I'm going to get that first screw lined up. Oh. Okay. There we go. And we'll get that second screw. Come on. And then we'll flip it upside down, holding it by the lens this time, now that part of it's on there. And we'll slip that in, get a screw, and same thing with the other guy. Slip it in. I'm going to look at these panels, make sure I didn't accidentally touch one of them. No. Nope, we're good. Alright. And we'll get a screw and we'll put it in right here. And now hold the lens and apply a little bit of pressure with your screwdriver and just kind of make sure those screws are nice and tight. Okay, and now you can put that metal filter over your lens. Let's see here, make sure this light engine's nice and clean still. It is. And then you're going to just go ahead, being careful not to touch any of the glass or anything on this guy. You're going to just gently guide it in. Right like that. Okay. Now I'm going to hold it and then move this sweatshirt. And we're going to guide our first screw in because the first one's, the nut didn't come out, which is helpful. Okay. So these ones we're going to use our bigger screwdriver to make sure we can get a nice tight fit in there. Okay. And we're going to look, see if there's another bolt. There's not. So we're going to stick our little bolt in there. And I'm going to do these ones diagonal. So that way you get nice, even pressure throughout the whole thing here. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to get that one in, put the next screw. Okay, and we'll get our next one. Can I fit it in? There we go. And we'll get it in there. Now, you have a fully rebuilt light engine again. Give it a quick little blowout. And then we're going to go ahead and stick it back inside the projector. So we're just going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of make sure there's nothing on that lens. I'm going to get some of the junk out of the projector that ended up getting in there somehow. I'll just grab a shirt or something, kind of, because there's nothing real bad in here. Just kind of grab something. Okay. I don't know what ended up spilling in here, but it was gross. All right. And now everything looks good. Yep. And then we'll blow everything out. And we'll get our light engine back in here. So you're just going to hold it and move all the wires out of the way. And then just kind of drop it in where it used to be. Like so. Kind of can be a little bit of a pain. Oh, kind of lift it. There we are. Okay, and it's back in. So now all you're going to do is just screw it back in. So we'll get our screws. Okay, we'll get these ones up here first. And magnetic screwdrivers really do help with this. Okay. First one's in. And our second one's in. Third one. And I'm gonna make sure, look around, see, I don't remember where this one went. I believe this guy was hiding right here, looks like. Is that where it was? I'm gonna find that little hole there. Come on, there it is. Yes, that's where that one was. Okay, got that in. And now, of course, we have this little guy, which is the screw for the fan. We'll get him back in there. Perfect. Okay, and now we'll start to put the metalwork back. Just this piece here. Okay. Oops. Gotta tighten it in a little more. That way. Oh no, you know what? I put the That might have been the wrong, no, that was right. Never mind. Okay. This guy can go a little bit down more. Let me see here. Okay, there we are. All right, now we're going to go ahead and grab our main board. And now this is where it's going to get a little tricky, because you're going to have to fish your cables back with this board like that. It can be a very big pain, as you can see, because you have to get these cables through the board, kind of pull them up and hold them. Get that one in the middle. Come on. Almost. Eat your dinner. Let's see here. And then we get that other one. Okay. And now that that's in, we just have to do the kind of circuit board dance. Make sure that it's good and seated in here the right way. So in order to do that, of course it wasn't, so I have to move it. Just go right on top of that. Make sure these are up here. There we go. Okay. And we'll move that metal piece back to where it goes. And we'll move this metal piece back to where it goes. Which it looks like, I think this one, I'm trying to remember how it went here. I believe it looks like it was like right here. Yeah. So we'll go right back there. Make sure, move these wires out of the way. Man, these are a nuisance, huh? Okay. And we'll stick them there. And it should seat in with that other piece right there and there. Okay, just like that. Perfect. So now we're going to grab these and we're going to put all of these screws in. And we're also, just while we're thinking about it, we'll plug in our LCD panels again. So they just very, very, very gently just kind of seat in, and you flip that little grayish brown door down. There we go. And we'll put this screw in also, and you just keep going down the line of sticking screws in. Okay. And then get that screw in there. And we'll make sure to tighten that screw back down to the way it was. And we'll put the other screw back in this piece of metal so it holds this piece in, like so. Okay, perfect. Now we just got to put our other circuit board back, which is not too hard. Okay, so we'll line it up. Make sure we don't accidentally cover any of these wires, because that would be nice and fun to deal with. Okay, and we'll plug it in. Takes just a little bit of pressure to make sure you get a good tight connection. Okay, and then you're just going to, same thing, screw it in. Oh, you know what? No, I lied. You know what? Hang on. There's one thing we need to do before we put this board in. Forgot to do. We got to reconnect the remote sensor in the back. So we'll unplug it again, very gently. Okay. And we'll use our needle nose lined up. Okay, and it's in. Now we'll get this main board in. So now, same deal. Make sure there's no cords in the way. And then, once you think you have it lined up, just kind of seat it in. There we are. All right. Now, we'll screw this thing in. And I don't think I'm going to actually do all the cleaning out and all that right now, but I will in another, I might do it in another video, I don't know yet. Or in another stream, because I have other stuff I need to get done tonight. But we'll just get this guy out. And you know what, hold on, this is for, just remember, this is the ground for our speaker. That screw. That's really in there. Totally messed up that. Dang it. Yeah, this screw's totally going to be stripped out too now. Shit. Damn, it is. Alright, well, move to a little bit of a bigger driver. Kind of have to force it to come out. Well, this is not a planned part of the video. Hang on. Bear with me for a moment, guys. God dang it. I'm just going to have to do little moves with the needle nose pliers. Just basically hope I don't break anything. Alright, well, this was a complete accident. Moral of the story, pay attention to what screws go where, because... Okay, got it out. Just hearing all kinds of little cracks and pops and stuff I did not like to hear. That was concerning. Oh, whatever. Okay. Dang. So now I gotta quickly, I'm gonna run this stupid thing. I'm gonna put the right screw in. All right, and then these go down here, and it goes around this little plastic bit, and then up around that little plastic bit, and basically goes right into the main board. All right, it's in now. All right, after that eventful experience, now this screw has to go somewhere on this board too. Of course, the stripped out one. Okay, well, what can you do? It's really not wanting to go in now though. That's the scary part. Okay, we'll put it right here. Let's hope to God this thing doesn't ever have to be disassembled. And we'll put some of these cables back on it while we're at it in here too. Okay. And then we'll plug in our lamp fan. Which is just awesome. Okay. And I'm just going to shove those wires right down inside of that. Okay. Perfect. And now we shall finish putting the screws in this board. And then we'll also, obviously connect these ones, but, so we'll do that now, I guess, while I'm thinking about it. Go there, and there. Come on. I'm going to pull those wires pretty tight. Epson has these things cable managed pretty well. And there. Okay. And we'll get these last screws in. Finally. There's that one. Okay. And of course, hang on. Make sure this is all in good. I have one little tiny screw left, and I'm trying to think of where it might have went. Always happens. Without fail, every time there's always one stupid little freaking screw left over. It looks like everything's here. I'm trying to think of anything that's not. Those are all there. Aha, there's one right underneath this board. See if I can go in without having to actually get in that. I think I can just barely do it without having to. Yep, that's it. There it was. Just one little screw on the board underneath this one. Found it. All right. Well, those are all back in. Whew, what a freaking adventure that was, huh? Cool. Now we'll put our bulb in. Now I'm going to do something that you really probably shouldn't do, and that is I'm going to run the projector. Let's see, can I even do that? Can I run the projector without the, yeah, I can. Okay, so the bulb goes in right here, and it just seats in, yep, just like that, and just like that. Cool. All right, I'm going to try to power up the projector as is with this connected to make it run. Obviously I need to put the lamp door on because that's where the lamp's safety switch is. So I'll just put the screw in, and we'll go ahead and make sure this is all in. Okay, and we shall plug it in and then turn on the projector. So I'm just going to plug this in, and I'm going to get a power cord. Always a joy. These ones are like the worst connectors. So you gotta push it in and then kind of slip these little things in around it. Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna just kind of put it something like that, somewhere close where it's not gonna snag. Okay. And now I'm gonna get a power cord. Whew, man. Always fun. I might have one in one of these bags. I do. Alright. I had to grab a power cord out of a bag I had. Okay. And then I'll run it right here so you guys can see it also. I'll plug it in right over there. And there's the projector mount next to it. So I'm going to just put this on top and move the whole projector with it. And then put it down. The main reason I'm doing this is just so I can make sure that the panels are connected correctly and such. So we turn it on. And we should. There we go. Should have the word Epson showing up right over there. Yeah, we do. So I'm just making sure that everything shows up the way it's supposed to. I don't want anything wrong here. Looks like everything's working. Open up the menu because that's what really shows. And our menu is working perfectly. All right, so the projector's on, and now we'll turn it off. unplug this. Remove our lamp door. And then we'll just put the whole lot back together while it's open, because we can, or while the lamp's in there, because that's able to happen. Okay. We'll just do that. Stick that there. Plug it in. Okay. Now we're in business. So we'll just do the same thing we've been doing, which is putting a bunch of screws inside of this thing. So we'll just put this one in, and then we'll put this one. And then the ones that are in the filter door. And we'll put the other one in the filter door. How long has this taken anyway? 67 minutes. Wow. It's a long live stream. Alright, that one's in. So we'll put our air filter back and close it up. Alright. And we will just keep going. Almost done here. I wonder if I have had any comments on this video. No, I don't think so. Should be alright. Okay. And we're almost done. Just have a couple more here. There's that guy. There's this guy. And there's the other one that's dead in the middle. It probably is hiding under one of the shirts. Yep, right here. Okay. So there's the one that's right in the middle. And that one's going in there. Okay. And then we go, make sure the lens is closed. We'll go into the back here and make sure that these are both in nice and good, because you have these two. Okay, and then our lamp door. And now we have officially pretty much completely disassembled and then reassembled this Epson and improved a foggy picture issue. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.